Okay, it's Day 80, Part 4, and since the beginning of the series, I've talked about smears and reprisals. And I've said this started 20 years ago with Andy McCabe and Hillary Clinton, and go all the way back to David Petraeus and PDD 62, Presidential Decision Directive 62. It's going to all lead back to Fort Bragg, but we'll do that in a different session. But what I wanted to talk about here are two FBI agents in this article by John Solomon at The Hill that are basically monitoring the media for the election and exacting reprisals against people that are not writing stories like they want. And one of the people they start asking about his children is Matt Apuzzo, Apuzzo, Pulitzer Prize winner. Starts talking about his children, going after his children. And then other ones talking about how to leak Wall Street Journal articles and so forth that are favorable to different people inside the FBI to try to engage or start investigations. So this is very, very much almost like what a Russian Secret Service would do. Now, I wanted to go back and just show that if you were protecting a drug business, and I know people just can't imagine that there would be people in the counterintelligence unit of FBI doing that. But these types of reprisals are what you get when you are protecting a drug business. And I will again go back to 305 days ago, where this happened, and I'll show you.
The other piece is all we have to do, the next shoe to drop, is honor the request of Erdogan to extradite Gulen, and the whole network falls apart. Because this is where the money's coming from. This is the $40 billion in Malaysia, the $2 billion that Hillary has stashed in Malaysia from the drug profits. That goes away. If the new district attorney of New York, this guy's in prison right now in New York, Reza Zarrab is in New York right now. All they have to do is start going for the kingpins, and we're going after that money.
And they went after Flynn because he was getting in the way of their plans for Turkey, the Pakistan to Turkey drug run. And this Muzaffar 1 is the mouthpiece for Gulen here in the United States. This is where the money is. The person here who wrote the plan to use drugs for targeting is Graham Fuller. They did use Suboxone and other opiates to basically target. Now, you could also say molybdenum 90, or you could use some of the other things that are used in the VA system for imaging. This is what my son's involved in terms of being a doctor, using imaging products. If those were irradiated, those could be causing cancer. So what I'm saying here is you don't want the FBI in a position in defending their drug business for a small group of insiders to have access to groups that have a revenge motive.
But just honoring the extradite requests knocks out the Gulen spy network in the U.S.
So my question would be here, if we know Gulen's stashing the money, if we know Gulen's running the drug network, why wouldn't we extradite him? If the FBI wasn't working with him, why wouldn't the FBI extradite him? And again, why would the FBI be bringing in these groups to exact reprisals against Americans if they weren't involved in the drug business?
How do they? I know they're radicalized. Well, their own Facebook says so. How do I know they're actually doing hacking other than their stepmother? Well, here's Dennis Kucinich wondering, how did I get hacked in my congressional office? This global information grid, and this is Department of Information Systems Agency put this out. I didn't put this out. They have satellites, planes, all the stuff in the U.S. And we're bringing in people from Pakistan, and we're teaching them how to have this eye of God, and they're hacking people like Dennis Kucinich.
And that was said 305 days ago. The exact agency that was being hacked, it was DISA. It was DISA in Springfield, Virginia. 305 days ago, I said that.
How do I know they're hacking the servers? Well, we know that because there's all these crime reports and 20 congressional burglaries. Whereas this server now, people ask, well, that server went along with them to Pakistan. And who got them visas? Well, Omar, their brother, went to the White House and met with an immigration lawyer to get them visas.
And the part I had wrong about that was Trump has informed me that they've destroyed the servers. They took the removable hard drives, but that's basically the same thing. Servers are cheap. The value is in the removable hard drives that were in the backpack every day.
And they got diplomatic visas, so they're gone. That's where that information is. We still only have the one picture of the Awan brother, Imran, and still nothing on investigation of the burglaries, nothing for the FBI.
And none of these reports have come out yet, but they are going to come out. That's the key. The conspirators have to know that these reports are going to come out. All the beatings, all the retainers, unlawful detainers, all the police reports of the burglaries and so forth, all the visas, all the tickets, all this is going to come out. It's better to retreat and release this information now, because as these texts come out, this is a lens which to view these texts. Just look at the damage done by 500 additional texts today in targeting Matt Apuzzo. It's not going to be good for the rest of the FBI. The FBI really should carve themselves away from this and say this was a few bad apples inside the counterintelligence division, and it was created from this PDD 62 working with the CIA, working with the Irregular Warfare Center in Kennedy, Irregular Warfare Center in Fort Bragg. This was a bad idea, that we would take these techniques used to target people, bringing in outside groups to target individuals that we don't like. This was a bad idea.